of non-harming other living beings if you simply eat meat. But that doesn't, you shouldn't take that to mean, oh, well, that means it's fine. Yeah, the Buddha never said that we could not eat meat. He never said that we should all be vegetarian. But he did recommend that everybody not intentionally harm any living being. And so if everyone was following that principle, that precept, then we would all have to be vegetarians. Right? Unless an animal dies naturally. Right? If an animal dies from old age, then you could eat it. But the Kamma is very different.
But isn't the fact that we get into the car to go and buy a packet of meat from the supermarket create the same amount of Kamma as in intention?
It's not the same though, right? Or observe your own mind. Kamma is not such a mysterious, ethereal law. You can just watch your own mind, observe what's the effect on my own mind. Okay, as you're driving to the supermarket, they intentionally package the meat to make it look quite palatable. If you go to Asian markets, boy, that's really disgusting. God, it's just like have pigs' heads hanging on hooks and like carcasses everywhere, dripping blood. But in like modern supermarkets, you go in and they package it so nicely you can't even remember hardly that it came from an animal. So the effect on our consciousness, you just watch. Okay, well, what's the effect on my mind as I'm going to do that, right? But then compare that with, okay, you go out to a farm and they're going to slaughter a cow. You say, no, I'll do it. And you kill the cow. And then you butcher it, you take the skin off, you get all the meat off, and then you cook the meat. Right? So the result is the same. Ultimately, you get meat to cook with, but observe the difference and the effect that it has in your mind, because that's where Kamma is. Right? Kamma is like the imprint that it leaves on our consciousness.
So buying meat or something to nourish your family would be considered as not as bad as...
Well, even if you're killing the cow yourself, usually you're still doing it to nourish your family, yourself and your family. So it's kind of mixed. It's mixed. I mean, the intention to provide food for your family is generally wholesome Kamma, but the intention to kill or to lead to something that will lead other people to kill, then that's going to be unwholesome intention. So you get a mixture in there, right? If you do the killing yourself, you feel the full brunt of it. If there's a living cow, and then you go say, yeah, I'll take that one, please kill that one, then still you have a pretty direct relationship to that animal dying, right? But if someone has already killed and processed and packaged all the animals and the meat, and you just go to the supermarket, it's much less direct relationship with the actual killing. It doesn't mean there's no causal relationship, there is, but the effect on our own mind is much more distant. But it doesn't mean, people tend to go to extremes and think, oh, well, that means it's, as long as I'm doing it to feed my family, then it's just fine, right? Well, there is some cause and effect relationship there, but it's not this. The other extreme is saying, oh, it's just the same as going out and killing a cow. Well, no, that's not true either. If it's merely an economic argument, then I mean, you can make that economic argument for a lot of unwholesome things. They do that in countries where they make arms, for example, right? They say, oh, this is an important part of our economy. We're making a lot of money. It's important to keep the economy going. We sell planes and bombs and missiles to countries all over the world, right? And it's really great for our economy, so we should keep doing it. Well, how much are you willing to sacrifice just to have a slightly higher standard of living, right? Because you know those things are going to be used to kill other people. Right? Now the same thing with animals. I think people would pretty quickly find alternative livelihoods, right? I mean, if there was suddenly no longer a market for sheep and cattle and chickens, salmon, whatever, people would quickly find other ways of utilizing their property, growing vegetables, fruits,
Wine.
wine, wine, yeah. Turn your hills into vineyards.
That itself is another harmful thing.
In a different way, in a different way.
New
Yeah.
Zealand started collecting gum initially.
Huh?
Gum from the trees. They sold gum.
Oh.
That's right.
Kauri gum.
Oh, kauri gum, yeah. Right. So with the economic argument, yeah, I don't fully buy that, because I'd be willing to accept a slightly lower standard of living if there was, if it involved or resulted in less killing in the world. But even with that, even having said that, I think people would figure out another way to make money, and it'd be fine. you can't erase the karma that we've made in the past, right? You can't erase that, but you can counterbalance it by doing lots of good karma or wholesome karma.
Any good
Kind
karmas?
of generally any wholesome karma. I mean, meditation is already wholesome karma. It's very good karma if you're just giving rise to sustained wholesome intentions. Right? You do meditation of loving kindness, right? Regularly bringing up the intention, may all beings be happy, or like forgiveness meditation, may all the chickens that I've ever picked up. I sincerely apologize, and I ask for your forgiveness, wherever you are now. And something like that affects our minds, right? Helping others, being of service, being kind to people that we know, people in our families, strangers, anybody, right? Just giving, helping, serving. But again, meditation is also about a systematic way of bringing up wholesome states of mind. Even just being mindful is already good karma, wholesome karma. It's a wholesome state of mind, especially if that it goes together with a general aspiration for liberation. Right? So meditation is all of these things are wholesome karma, keeping a good standard of precepts, right? Whatever we've done in the past, if we start keeping 5 precepts, so at least from this day onwards, I'm not going to pick any chickens. And that, that level of renunciation or sensitivity to life, respecting the life of other living beings, it's already wholesome karma. You just try to do as much as possible, and that will mitigate the effects of the unwholesome karma that we've done in the past. We can't erase it, but the effects they kind of mix together a bit more, so you don't notice the effects of the negative karma of the past when you have so much good Kamma and the positive results of all the good Kamma that we're making.